Hello you lovely cups, it's the Dragon Lord here, with a new what if. Now you probably read the title, but today we will be doing what if Tanjiro had the Rinnesharingan. Now before this video starts, I would just like to say that this what if was inspired and actually recommended by one of you guys, by Giyu Tomioka. Now I would like to say that Tanjiro is actually born with the Rinnegan, but it's not some implementation, and you heard me right, he gets born with the Rinnegan, but his Rinnegan is kind of crimson, like his eyes in the show. This of course being a hint to his inheritance of a child of fire. Without any further ado, let's get into it. The winter winds are breezing hard and wild as a young Tanjiro wakes up in his arms of his mother's. He spots his father dancing in a weird outfit and asks his mother what's going on and how his father can move like that in his condition. As his mother answers, but Tanjiro gets drowsy and falls asleep. As winter goes by, Tanjiro turns 6, as he and Nezuko are trying to imitate their father's dance, Tanjiro actually getting pretty close to it on the first try, because of him remembering it so well, of course. Now Tanjiro's father, who possesses similar eyes to Tanjiro, just with 9 tomoe, tells Tanjiro to always remember to breathe. When Tanjiro becomes 9, his father would actually pass away, but before passing away he would have sealed something in Tanjiro. This thing being, of course, kurama. Now, before I continue, the tailed beasts are a thing in this what if and in this world, and they are considered as kind of holy animals that can beseech people of the knowledge of a long forgotten kingdom, this being the kingdom of the Sage of Six Paths. Now, Tanjiro descends from a bloodline that is closely linked to the Sage of Six Paths, with his father unlocking the Rinnesharingan after getting Kurama sealed in him, but his father didn't have the Rinnegan. He had the Sharingan, and his mother was actually a descendant of the Senju clan. That's how he got the Rinnegan. Now, his father would seal Kurama into Tanjiro, but would also give his eyes to Tanjiro, and the moment he passes on his eyes, a weird half-moon, half-sun mark appears on Tanjiro's hand. As he knew that he would pass away, he gave Tanjiro his eyes. His previous father, so the father of Tanjiro's father, actually also gave his eyes to his son, and that's how they have the Rinnesharingan. Now Tanjiro would wake up and would feel amazing. He would feel stronger and more durable too, as he looks into a mirror and sees that his eyes all of a sudden got 9 tomoe, as he rushes to his father to show him. But as he opens the door to his father's room, he finds the old man in his bed, sick, with bandages over his eyes. As a crying Tanjiro walks up to the side of his father would say, "Is that you, Tanjiro?" as the old man stretches out his hand to grab Tanjiro's. As Tanjiro would reply with, yes, it's me." As he would grab his father's hand, his father would say, "When I pass on, I want you to inherit my earrings and kimono." Now, a month or so after his father passes away, Tanjiro would be very sad, as he misses his father. Now, Tanjiro would have always been helping type, kind of it, but now that his father passed away, he's a bit more sad, and even when he helps people, he still has the slight bit of sadness left on his face, which worried his family. Now one night, while trying to fall asleep, Tanjiro would keep hearing this voice. Hey kid, wake up!" As Tanjiro would wake up, laying in some weird metal compound, he would follow the voice and eventually make his way to a dark room with massive pillars in front of it. As he would get closer and see a massive fox with 9 tails behind the pillars, as he would get scared by this, but Kurama would tell him to calm down. As the fox would ask the boy what's on his mind, and Tanjiro gets confused by this question. He asks, "What do you mean?" Kurama would look at the boy and say, "I've been watching you for years, boy. I was once sealed inside your father, but he decided to seal me in you, but I've always watched you from his perspective, and I've never seen you so sad." As Tanjiro would tell Kurama that he misses his father, Kurama would actually tell the boy something that would make him cheer up, as this was something his father told him that he forgot. The next morning, Tanjiro would wake up happier than usual and would actually work way harder than usual too. Now, in the 4 years that passed before the bit where the show starts, Kurama would actually help Tanjiro out a lot, and even teach him about chakra and some other stuff. Tanjiro would master all 5 basic chakra natures, as well as yin and yang release, because it's the full Kurama fox, so he can use yin and yang. He would also master pretty much every path of the Rinnegan, as well as slowly dabble into the Sharingan's abilities, but more on that later. Also, before I continue, Tanjiro's Sharingan, the left eye has the exact same abilities as, what's his name, as Sasuke Uchiha, but the right eye is like completely new, so because we've not really seen anybody with a Rinnesharingan besides the new guy Urashiki from Boruto, but we've never seen somebody with 2 Rinnesharingan. So what would Tanjiro's special ability be for his right eye? Leave it in the comments down below, and you know, I'll think about it. He wouldn't only kind of evolve ability-wise, he would also become stronger physically to the point where he can go up and down from the mountain in under 5 minutes at max speed, and 20 minutes at normal speed, but also his scent ability would be way stronger, being able to pick up blood and other scents from a very far distance. As Tanjiro prepares to go down the mountain to sell charcoal, his siblings would come up to him and ask him if they could join him, but their mother would tell them that they can't, since he can't use the cart and they can't walk as fast as him. As a slightly older brother comes up and asks Tanjiro that he thought that they would collect wood together, but Tanjiro tells him that he will collect wood with him when he gets back. He spots Nezuko with Rokuta on her back as he approaches them to say goodbye. As he pets Rokuta and sets course for the village, he would get there after 20 minutes or so. As he would then get in the village and sell the charcoal, he would also help people out, like kind of, like just help them out, carry stuff, even help that one kid who gets in trouble, and then he sniffs the vase to see who it actually was who broke it. And after it all, it basically becomes nearly nightfall. And Tanjiro, being satisfied with his visit to the village, decides to head up to the mountain. He doesn't get stopped like in canon, but at the foot of the mountain, Tanjiro can smell a weird scent, followed by the scent of blood, as he decides to rush up the mountain. Meanwhile, over at the Kamado residence, Muzan and 2 lower demons would have appeared, as Muzan would kick open the door, as the young Shigeru would walk up to the men, telling them that they can't just barge in like that, as one of the lower demons slashes Shigeru, instantly killing him. Now Nezuko would get angered by this, as she would get the wood chopping axe and hold it out as a warning to them, as the others stand paralyzed at the sight of their dead brother, and Ki, Tanjiro's mother, would start crying. Now Muzan would make note of this, as he says, "Kill them, besides that girl with the axe. You may harm her, but don't kill her," as the 2 demons would attack Nezuko, severely injuring her, as they would then go for the others, while Muzan would give Nezuko his blood. Now, while blitzing up the mountain, Tanjiro would smell Nezuko's blood, and in a second of need, he would ask Kurama for his help, activating KCM-1, basically blitzing to the house instantly, as he would crash through the roof, killing the 2 lower demons instantly using chakra rods. Now he would look at Muzan, who is pouring his blood into Nezuko. Now Muzan, seeing an angry Tanjiro that looks to be in a state of the sun, keep in mind his aura is kind of reddish, yellowish, kind of like the sun, he gets scared and runs away. Keep in mind, Muzan does not know about the tailed beasts. Well, he does, but he thought that they are legend, or KCM-1 kind of. So when he saw Tanjiro emitting a fiery kind of aura, combined with those red eyes, he would get scared and run, because he remembers that in the past there was a demon slayer who had red eyes, and who was able to use fire to kill him. Now Tanjiro would pass out from using KCM-1 for the first time, without ever really adjusting for it, because him and Kurama don't really train often, as he would wake up early in the morning and see that his mother is sitting next to him. As he would sit straight up and ask her what happened, she would just start crying, as she shows Shigeru's grave. Tanjiro would start crying and get angered for being late, but his mother tells him that there was nothing that he could have done. She shows him Nezuko. He uses the King of Hell to heal her, but she wouldn't wake up Now I know that the King of Hell supposedly restores one's body to its natural state, but because Nezuko has Muzan's blood running through it and it's like demon blood, she can't fully get restored, but Muzan's spell is gone. So the spell gets lifted, so she will have full control over herself. Now she would still be passed out, so Tanjiro decides to go down to the village to get help. As he starts running, Nezuko would bulk up on his back, as she would all of a sudden attack Tanjiro, and they would fall down from the mountain path. They would softly land in some snow. Now Nezuko, still being enraged by her brother's death, attacks Tanjiro as she sees him as Muzan for a bit, just because of rage. When all of a sudden Gyu would come out of nowhere, slashing at Nezuko, but Tanjiro would use the hatchet to block the sword strike, as the recoil would send both Tanjiro and Nezuko flying into a tree. Now Gyu would ask why Tanjiro would protect Nezuko, and Tanjiro would reply with that she's his sister. Now Gyu would still capture her, and Tanjiro would do the entire begging thing, this which would make Gyu call Tanjiro weak and that he should fight if he wants to protect his sister. Now Tanjiro would throw the rock, just like in canon, but he would take a moment to breathe in. Now Gyu would realize that this is a breath style, as Tanjiro would disappear from Gyu's sight and reappear between the trees for split seconds, as Gyu can hardly keep up with Tanjiro's speed, as he barely is able to block another rock. Tanjiro would come rushing forward but would get knocked down by Gyu, as a flaming axe would then just miss Gyu, but he hit the tree behind him, completely setting the tree ablaze, as Gyu would see that Tanjiro actually did a diversion to try to take down Gyu, and this would wake up Nezuko, who would kick away Gyu and go into a protective stance next to her brother, as she says, "I won't let you hurt Tanjiro," as this surprises Gyu, who knocks her out. Now, I know Tanjiro could probably easily be Gyu at this point, but because Tanjiro is a kind soul, he's not gonna hurt a human just like that, so he tried to diverse and maybe harm Gyu, but he would never try and kill Gyu. So, just trying to point that out. Now, Tanjiro would wake up in the next to Nezuko, but unlike in canon, she doesn't have the bamboo in her mouth. Gyu tells Tanjiro to go and take Nezuko to Mount Segiru, I think that's how you pronounce that, and that he should look for someone named Sakonji Urokodaki, telling them that when they find him, they should tell him that Gyu Tomioka sent you. Now before Gyu would leave, he would ask Tanjiro about the weird fire he used, but Tanjiro tells him that he didn't really know what that was. This wasn't the fire from his fire style, it was the fire from his Himokami Kagura. But Gyu notices that it was something that he remembered from his father. Tanjiro realizes that it's something that he remembered from his father and tells Gyu that it's some weird dance called the Dance of the Fire God, or Himokami Kagura. Gyu would question if this was maybe Breath of the Sun and asks Tanjiro what else he can do. Tanjiro tells him that his eyes are special and that he has a lot of abilities and even a massive fox inside of his body, as he shows off KCM 1 just for a split second, 2 also just for a split second, and 3 also just for a split second to both Gyu and Nezuko, who are interested in this. Now, Tanjiro just showed them for a split second, otherwise he's gonna pass out since he's not used to them. Gyu warns Tanjiro about letting Nezuko walk outside in the sun, cause it could kill her. Gyu also tells Tanjiro that the Demon Slayer Corp will come to get his family, or whatever remains of it, and escort them to their HQ where they will be held safe. Now Tanjiro and Nezuko would set course, and as it becomes day, Tanjiro would leave Nezuko in a cave, as he would go and get some bamboo and other stuff to make a way for Nezuko to travel out, even in the day. But as he approaches the cave, he can see that Nezuko is standing outside in the sun, which leads him to believe that she's special. They still make the basket, this time together, because Nezuko still needs to adjust, so Tanjiro makes the basket together with her, so she can rest in it while travel. On the road, Tanjiro asks the lady for some directions, as he tells him to go over the mountain, which he does, as he and Nezuko find a small temple, but Tanjiro smells blood as he rushes to open the door to ask if everyone is okay. But he sees a demon feasting on humans, as the demon says, "Who's that entering my territory?" as he looks at Nezuko, who, unlike in canon, is disgusted by blood and isn't drooling. As the demon attacks Tanjiro but gets stopped by Nezuko, who kicks his head off and saves Tanjiro. Now Tanjiro would tramp the demon's head to a tree with the hatchet Now Urokodaki would show up and smell the empathy that Tanjiro has for the demons, as he fails to kill the demon. Now it would become day and Urokodaki would know that Nezuko is a demon, but he is very surprised when he saw that she actually stands in daylight without burning. As he is interested by this, now Tanjiro would start digging graves for the people who fell to the demon. As him and Urokodaki both prayed for them, now they would still have their talk, just like in canon, with it ending with Urokodaki telling Tanjiro to carry his sister and follow him. As they start running, but Tanjiro actually easily keeps up with Urokodaki, and just like Urokodaki, you can't hear Tanjiro's footsteps. This impresses Urokodaki already, who is very intrigued by both Tanjiro and Nezuko. They arrive at Urokodaki's house, and Tanjiro puts Nezuko to bed. As they start climbing the mountain, Tanjiro notices that the air is way thinner up on top of the mountain, as Urokodaki tells Tanjiro to find his way down the mountain before daybreak. Now Tanjiro would adjust to the air pretty quickly, as he would start following the scent down the mountain. He would still trigger the stone traps, but unlike in canon, he dodges it since his sensory is enhanced by the Rinnesharingan. He would still trigger other traps, but dodge them easily. Now Urokodaki would make it to the bottom of the mountain. Just as he is about to enter his house, he smells something, as Tanjiro pops out from around the corner with hardly a bruise on him, as the old man is impressed by this and tells Tanjiro that he is his new student. Now this is where I'm going to end the video. If you guys liked the what if, consider hitting that like button and subscribe. Discord link in the description if you want this what if again next week. Now I know this was a tiny what if, but I just wanted to like do the entire training and final selection in the next one, and I wanted to kind of like proportion it so that I have a nice template. Now if you guys want to see the next part, you can vote down in the Discord. Voting will start like it will have started since when the video's out. So if you're watching this video, if you want the next part to be next week, then you'll have to go vote on the server. And with that out of the way, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.